All right, today we are following the same thing that we were talking about yesterday, which is being smart, being patient, taking very low risk trades, moving stops break even, all because of the election coming up. I really want to be kind of risk off and followed through with that today again. Took a trade that I found and loved the trade, loved the execution. We're going to go ahead and recap that. It's from my live stream this morning on my main channel, Trades by Matt. And if you didn't know, I'm trading it on 20, 50K Apex funded accounts. You can use code TBM for 80% off. It's also 1 day to pass and $85 lifetime activation fees right now. All the code TBM at checkout. Let's dive into today's recap with the trade. Yo, good morning. How we doing? Happy Wednesday, hump day. Market's actually looking pretty interesting. I logged on right when this was happening. I was like, dang, that actually looks pretty solid for like the continuation of the downtrend. Didn't want to take it. It's pre-market. Now it's like, I mean, we failed to sweep that low. Getting a little steam going into the open. Maybe hunt VWAP. Kind of looking kind of interesting right off the bat, but I'm not gonna trade the open. Love the tilted hat. Golf shirt, nice and soft. It's a Nasdaq cowboy golf shirt. They'll be in your door soon, everybody. Alrighty, news-wise that we got today, chat. We have 9 o'clock pending home sales. We'll see if that does anything. Other than that, crude oil's inventories at 9:30 if you're a crude oil trader. And then we got Meta, Starbucks, Microsoft earnings after the bell. Okay, as far as levels go, we are very close to the overnight lows. That's what we were just talking about, 640 or so, 639 3/4. The overnight lows. We got yesterday's close around 700, VWAP 720, yesterday's value area high 730, yesterday's value area low sitting at 565 with volume from yesterday at 600. So, you know, if we do sweep 640, that rotation to yesterday's IVH, yesterday's volume, 600, and then sweep into 580, maybe value area low from yesterday. All that makes sense on the downside rotation if we sweep the overnight lows to me. If we can hold the overnight lows and defend it, get a little boost up. Watching 700 and 720, I think look very solid for the upside plays. I got a little poll going in the chat just to get kind of a pace of what people are thinking. It's obviously not our 1 and 2 poll. It's just like an actual poll. I'm just curious kind of the spread on people's bias today, I guess. I'm leaning more towards sideways. I just am leaning more towards sideways every day of this week, but who knows? Honestly, who knows? We could push it pretty nicely, so we'll see. Because gamblers can wear it too. Yeah, it's funny. The design, the print shop that ran all our orders, they were saying that a whole bunch of their workers wanted the tilted hat. Me and TJ were talking about it. We were like, I guess getting tilted happens in every aspect of life. Like whether you're playing poker, you're trading, you're just like tilted at life sometimes. It kind of applies. Whether it's just a funny meme, tilted at golf, but it made us laugh. All right, I'm gonna end the poll. Okay, it's a fairly even split. Stair stepping up from sideways down and then up. Bro, the hoodie's literally the best quality hoodie I've ever had. Better than my Burberry, LV, and True Religion hoodies. For real. I'm telling you, man. I found that hoodie, that like brand of hoodie. It's the same ones as Scout Mafia, and I will never not run those hoodies as my orders. So far, the overnight session trend to the downside has been still holding strong. Sellers are around, but not super heavy, to be honest, but they're around. We got volume that just slipped down here as well. Pointing controls now at 620. This is a question regarding how you analyze pointing control. Example, if it was a trend day down, the pointing control flip below, we have to say after we see a pointing control flip below, there's more continuation. I say if we expand, the big thing is if we expand off of the pointing control flip. So in this case, it was a little early in the day for me to truly say that yet. I prefer it after a bigger move. Like if you get pointing control flipping down here, like say at right here, right? Yesterday's value area low. This is what we're talking about pre-market. We said that if it flushed the overnight lows, we'd go to 600, then go to yesterday's value area low, 570s, which is exactly what we did, right? Now, if we come here, it's a nice move off the open. It's 100 points, and pointing control flips down here now, and we put in a ton of volume, and then we expand again. Then we see a lot more continuation, a lot more usually, because a lot of times, whenever you get pointing control flipping after a nice 100, 150, 200 point move, a lot of times it rotates back. It's a little bit of a mean play, mean reversion, I guess. It's what you see often. But every now and then on these big old trend days, whether it's up or down, you'll see pointing control flip near the extreme of whatever the move is happening, and then you push out again. And when that happens, it usually continues all day long, and you'll see point of control continue to flip down and push, flip down and push, flip down and push. On a down day. If it was an up day, you'd see point of control push up, and then we push out of it, right? Because the whole question of point of control is asking why. Why is there this much volume being conducted here? And a lot of times after a 150 point move, 100 point move, 150, 200 point move, whenever you get all the volume being conducted at the high or the low of the move, whichever direction it's going, a lot of the times it's people taking out their money and they're going to rotate it back up, right? So if you push out after a 200 point move with all that volume being conducted at like the bottom of the day, like right now, right? And you push out of it, it's very telling. Got it blocked out at 525. Could be an interesting ligma down there. I'm now green lighted a trade. It's 8:45. So I waited my 15 minutes. Now we can see what happens next. If we actually are going to have a ligma or not, right? I think that I would prefer us to see the liquidity get hit at 525. We just got point of control down here as well. So kind of one of those areas that we were just talking about, right? Like JW was asking about. We have a 140 point move to the downside. We get point of control down here. Are we going to leg out and go sweep 520s? Like if that's the case, then like it really is truly, you know, not really looking for any uppies at all. I should just really be shorting. But a lot of times you'll see point of control flip like that. We put in volume. We got a little ligma happening, and we might kick it a little bit. The only downside is this liquidity at 525, but I don't know if that's enough. And it's lit. It's lit. It's lit. It's lit. October 30th, Wednesday. Tomorrow's Halloween, by the way. Why was the math book crying? It had lots of problems. But I'll be honest, I kind of wanted a little bit. We started off the month with some spooky jokes, and I kind of wish that we had a couple more spooky jokes going into Halloween, but that's okay. How can I not revenge trade? I feel like I'm gonna miss a move if I get stopped out. The markets are always moving, man. You will always miss a move. It's inevitable. Learn to be okay with missing a move. Get stopped out and force yourself. Literally put your hands under your legs and sit on them. So you cannot take a trade. Just watch it happen. And then if it does what you wanted it to do, then you can, after the fact, you can analyze it and say, okay, how could I have adjusted my entry to be a little bit more friendly for the price action that occurred, right? So where I can give myself the risk that I need. Or maybe your entry was spot on and your stop is too tight. How can I adjust my stop to be able to give myself the move that it needs? Or maybe you feel great about both of those and you just got stopped out, right? And that's just part of it. That's part of trading. I'm tentatively planning on doing an election stream Tuesday night. Tentatively planning on watching those results come in and having the markets up at the same time. See if markets are reacting, etc. See if there's any volatility caused by it. Not necessarily trading it, but watching it, watching the volatility, watching the election. So if y'all want to join in on that, tentatively planning on doing that Tuesday night. It'll be a virtual election party, I guess. Patience. Wait for good setups. Speaking of being patient, my godfather, I played golf with him on Saturday, and he was telling me that I need to get some custom head covers for my driver, my hybrid, and my 3-wood or something like that, and have it be like, have my hybrid say, he watches the stream every now and then. He's like, you need to have your hybrid say base hits. You need to have your 3-wood say be smart or something like that. Like, don't take it out. And you need to have your driver say be patient on the driver head. Like, that's honestly not a bad idea. That's kind of funny. Might have to find a way to make some custom driver heads for myself. I'd buy a driver head cover that said tilted. Honestly, that would be hilarious too. Just seems so aggressive to be buying this, but it's been holding. I mean, this is interesting. Something like that is pretty interesting. It would be hugging volume here. Hugging volume, stop below. It's a 6 point. I mean, honestly, you could do it tighter. You're like 5 points of risk. Looking for the return back up to VWAP. I don't think I get filled on it. It's just really like a bottom of the range, sort of interesting kind of play. But it's looking like it's already doing the thing. So... And I really like it to run. I'm not actually gonna keep it here. This area at 77, I really want to see 77 cleaned up. Run that 75 block, quickly sweep 76, 77, right? It's kind of the idea. We got buyers stepping back up after looking kind of trash at the lows. I imagine we do it. And like, if we come all the way back down in this candle and flip this red, like, that doesn't really sound like it's going to look that good, to be honest. 437. Something like that could be kind of interesting. If we actually get a push to the downside though, right? I'm just looking at like this 5-minute candle. I'm like, if we go trade 58s, then we probably sweep it to 53, 54, 52, 51, somewhere in that 50 to 54 range. I would imagine. And if we do that, then odds of us sweeping the actual downside, I think, are higher. But I don't know. I'm not really willing to risk trying to get in on this unless it's like at the bottom of the range, 54 at a minimum. And now's what I was talking about. Like, what happens here? Do we actually hold this, or do we flip red, right? Do we hold volume at 59, or do we flip red? And if we flip red on this candle, 58, if we go below 58, I don't know, you kind of expect a little bit more of a pullback than 5 points, but that 53 level could hold. It's a cheap trade. So far, it's holding. There's the 75 block, and the 77 got cleaned up. So those are both the areas that I was just talking about wanting to see get cleaned up. Both just got cleaned up. That was definitely the kind of thesis of wanting to buy the bottom of this range originally. We just never got down to it. Nice to see that get cleaned up. It's pretty expected, I think. Anytime you have those side-by-side double tops, wick like that, a lot of times it cleans it. So that's nice to see, for sure. For sure, nice to see, and it kind of cleans up a lot of the top side that we were looking at. I mean, we don't have too much more liquidity. We have yesterday's close, obviously 700, psych level 700. But rejecting 80 here, I don't think is a terrible idea. But I'm not in a spot where I want to short this at all. I think it's still a buy the pullback for me. It's just the pullbacks are 10 points, which are challenging to buy after a 140 point move up. I want more buyers as we push back in to like 80, 75, 80 with buyers holding up. It gets more interesting. Trying to sweep these wicks. I mean, point of control, interesting spot, right? 660, something like that. If we actually got the sweep, but red line algo, hello. Well, so far I still haven't taken a trade. I've seen a couple things that I've tried to get into and it just didn't work. So, one that I really wanted, this one at 94, that's the one I really wanted, and it just didn't. I never got filled. Missed it by 2 points. Everything else has just been kind of like, the first half of the day was really, current half of the day was all just like straight up and straight down and straight up, no pullbacks at all, no real opportunities to get in there. And then for me at least, and then now we've just been chopping VWAP since 9 o'clock. We were below VWAP chopping, now we're above VWAP chopping. Tried to get into one trade. I just haven't really seen much, but like I said, I'm really trying to be really picky this week. Election stuff, so I am being picky. It's just I'm not really getting a whole lot of opportunity either, even if I wasn't being super picky, to be honest. I mean, look at all these wicks that we have on VWAP right now. Look at this. Look at all these wicks. Like, we flush it, right? And then it's like, do I buy voting control here and risk 4 or 5 points? Well, and then after cleaning out the wicks, if we actually do close above VWAP, we actually probably realistically do push the 685, 690. See how this candle closes in 1 minute. But I mean, it's taking out the wicks. All those wicks getting run. Trying to. Very slowly. Like 4 points from getting filled, 3 points from getting filled. Still got sellers for sure. Which is why it's this very tight risk. Unfilled. Off point of control. I'm gonna go and move that break even. It's a free trade. I really would like to see it fill out. Don't know if it's going to. How close did I get? I think I got pretty freaking close. 69. I was 1 point off, and then 1 tick off from getting stopped. And I got a negative slippage on the stop. That was 2 points of slippage because I had it 2 ticks up. So I had it at $10 and I took 2 points of slippage just then for being a dick for a tick for 1 point. Good stop out though. Good stop out placement. But my gosh, come on. Overall, I mean, that was a damn good looking trade. I wish I would have taken it at 9 points, I guess. I honestly thought I was going to get filled. I thought we were going to push right back up into VWAP. I obviously thought I was going to get filled because I left it open. Thought I was going to get filled, missed it by a point. Had my stop break even after the trade moved 5 points in the money. I like that. It actually moved two ticks to break even. So positive 2 ticks. Should have canceled it. You know, it fills out. I should have been at $5 per account. I got slipped because of the market stop. 1.5 points negative per account. But I mean, we dumped pretty nicely. It's almost a 30-point dump. So I like the stop out placement makes sense because we absolutely flushed from there. I just kind of got hosed on the slippage. I'm tilted. I'm just kidding.